and welcome to my channel, or aka Austin. And this episode, or this video, is going to be talking about Doctor Strange, a What If episode for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Oh, I know. How come I don't have that video out yet? Well, I'm waiting on some other friend of mine to watch the first movie with, so I can see it next Saturday. And plus, I didn't have tickets for the movie for this Saturday. Plus, it was also Mother's Day. Well, currently now it's not, but it was Mother's Day, and of course it's Mother's Day weekend, and I don't want to ruin all that. But anyways, this episode is about Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness and a little bit of WandaVision, just to catch you guys up on Doctor Strange, and then I'll do a video of the movie, and then on maybe another one about where he's been in the movies as well. So, and in the Doctor Strange episode of What If Doctor Strange didn't lose his hands? Instead of losing his hands, he lost his heart for his girlfriend, Christine Palmer. Meaning, his heart belonged to her, and his love for her. The beginning of this episode shows you the beginning half of the movie where he gets done with surgery. He's getting an award, and they're driving down the coast of California, and they go in that crash. And he goes in that crash. In that universe, our regular MC universe, he loses his hand, so makes him study the ancient mystical magic or sorcery. Well, in this one, same thing happens, but in this What If universe, he loses Christine, and then he goes and studies the mystical arts, like we all know he does. But once he learns that he can manipulate time with a time stone, he goes back and forth to that moment when he loses her, and even he also loses her, also alternates the timeline as well a little bit. So in the universe that we know, he loses his hands in a car wreck, and he can't use his hands for surgery. So he goes studies this stuff, right? But this one, again, like I said, loses his girlfriend. They drown. Well, she drowns and he doesn't, so he ends up staying alive. So a couple times he recreates at night, and the same things happen. One of the alternate timelines, he takes the alternate route. So he gets in a car wreck. He does pizza night. She gets shot. Different things, alternate, but he can't bring her back. So what he realizes he can't bring her back, the Ancient One comes and visits him. And Ancient One kind of says, you can't bring her back. Well, I'm going to at least try. Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange says, at least I'm going to kind of try. And when he says that, she's like, well, you have to fight me when you have to stop this, or I have to fight you. Well, he says, I won't stop you, you gotta fight me. So when they were fighting, she split the realities in two. But Stephen Strange didn't know that, so Stephen Strange only thought there's only one reality. So he goes to his jungle with his ancient library, where he studies all these different time manipulation, and he studies that. But honestly, he's studying that, there's another Ancient One there, and telling him, you don't always have to go by the book on these things. But he does it anyway. So he's also went through this ancient creature that has tentacles, trying to bargain with the ancient creature, where he did with Numamu. And they also show him doing that, where he becomes the Sorcerer Supreme with Numamu. Same thing with Numamu. He tries to bargain with this creature, and the other Ancient One there says, oh, you can't bargain with these creatures. you gotta take the power. So what he does is take the powers of all these different mystical creatures. And one was a cockroach with a cape. He takes his cape. I don't much for bugs, he says, but I'll take the cape. He takes the cape of that one. He fights a dragon, takes the dragon's powers, takes the snake's powers, a whole bunch of different mystical creatures' powers. If you want to watch it, it's on Disney Plus. You'll find out which one he did. The last one he did was the tentacle one, took his powers. So, the one person, the ancient one that was with him in the jungle, in the library, ancient library he was studying, is dying. So, he wants to stop that from happening. But what's really happening on the other side of the same universe but split in half, the good one is like trying to live in the past, and Wong tells him, look, you either come forward and join me to dinner, or join me to dinner and join me to do something else, because you live in the past too much. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't live in the past. Well, the ancient one, the main ancient one that we follow in the movies, comes to him as a force ghost. As a force ghost, she tells him, yeah, I split your realities into, I split two different personalities, an evil one and you together. And you, the good one and the evil one, split in two, but it's in the same universe. So this is how we're getting into the multiverse of madness. As you can see, there was an evil. The evil one doesn't know. The evil one didn't know that there was another Doctor Strange out there. He only thought there was only one. So he thought he was doing good. And then he finds out, the evil one finds out there's a Doctor Strange out there. So as the good ones figure out about Doctor Strange, ancient one goes away, and Wong and him do a protection spell, and then the evil one calls out to Wong. Calls out to Stephen Strange. But also the reality is coming into like a black, gooey stuff like you would see in Venom. Venom's the only reference I can come up with. But it's not Venom's symbiote, it's some other gooey, magical stuff that looks like Venom. So, the evil Doctor Strange said, look, that's like the trailer from Multiverse of Madness, is like, things are about to get more interesting. He doesn't say that, he's like, we can save Christine. The Ancient One doesn't know Christine. We do. We fell in love with him. When we fell in love with her, we know who she is. And the good one's like, yeah, but you can't change reality. I realize that now. We can't bring her back. We can't do nothing. Well, I'm going to still try. And they have a fight against each other, even an epic fight between the two different capes or cloaks. And of course, the evil one ends up winning, ends up bringing back Christine. Christine was afraid because he showed his other form, his creature form, and he becomes human again. And then the Watcher's watching all this. Of course, this has the Watcher, so he's watching all this. And he sensed the Watcher before. The evil one searches the Watcher before. He's like, you can stop this. Well, the Watcher says, I could stop this, but you've been warned about it several times about this reality. And he lost his world. He lost Christine. He lost everything. Especially took the powers of the good the good Stephen Strange. So, in the What If universe, there's only a bad Doctor Strange stuck in the prism. And, well, that's where the episode ends. So, for Doctor Strange, what if? That's how it happens. Now, in the movie, I know they're going to take elements from the evil Doctor Strange from What If, because it's connected. And I think the zombie Doctor Strange, because that's the next episode after this one. But again, I don't know if that's completely the zombie version of Doctor Strange. I don't know. But I know there's going to be more than one Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness. So, talking about Multiverse of Madness and this episode prequel before this, Wanda, if you're not clearly know about WandaVision is also on here. I'm not going to do a video on Wanda. I'm just going to do one in this. So WandaVision, Wanda is kind of tired of losing family, well, losing the only family she knew was the Avengers, also losing her mom, her dad, her brother Pedro, or aka Quicksilver, from that was from Ultron, and then the destruction of Infinity War and Endgame. So she moves away from all that, and she goes to the house that she was gonna build with Vision, and she recreates an all new town by her powers. Even creates Vision once again, and then she goes throughout these sitcoms like Everybody Loves Lucy for the first two episodes of Black and White. Then there's Malcolm in the Middle, Modern Family, and like in the 70s and 80s. She makes one of these sitcoms, but she sees those realities of these sitcoms as her real life to cope with losing the Avengers family, her actual family, her brother, to Ultron, to Thanos. And that's where we leave her off of, basically. And then she creates two kids. She has two kids, and then at the end of that, she realizes her reality is real because there's another witch in there. She has to fight this witch, and then the government also sent in another Vision that's white to fight Vision, which we know that Vision is not alive. But you get my point. Monica Rambeau gets involved and tells Wanda that this stuff is not real, and then she goes to this cabin, and she studies this book. And there's another one outside the cabin that's chilling because she can project herself into different places now. And then there's one that's actually studying a black magic kind of book, and she hears her kids calling out to her. So I don't know if they're gonna pay this any due into the movie of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, but she's in this movie. She's in the movie of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and I'm excited to see it. And they're also going to show a little bit of the house that was in WandaVision. So, yeah, that's how Wanda has to do with Doctor Strange Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and also the What If episode of Multiverse of Madness, the What If episode for Multiverse of Madness, that I talked about. Now, Benjamin Cumberbatch came back to play the voice of Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Same thing with Wong, I think the Ancient One, and Christine Palmer. So everyone was original in this cast of this animated episode. I'm glad that Benjamin Cumberbatch played Doctor Strange, the evil one and the good one, in the What If episode, because it just makes it even more real when I go see Multiverse of Madness, because then I'll just look back on, okay, I just watched this episode. So I'll see you guys in the next video or next episode on my channel with Doctor Strange #1, and maybe a very quick or short video of Infinity War, Endgame, and Spider-Man: No Way Home, just to catch you guys up on a recap of where he's been since the first movie. And this one's a kind of a rough recap, but yeah, if you like this video, put a like by it. If you want to comment, leave a comment, or put a comment, or do a comment if you want to leave a comment. Again, put a like because it helps the algorithm. Subscribe, it also helps my channel and the algorithm to let you know that, hey, I love this video, and I love this guy. Talk to me about stuff I did not know, or possibly I did know, but why not watch this video anyways? So I'm not like Doctor Strange trying to save the multiverse of madness, and maybe a girl named America Chavez, and maybe possibly Spider-Man. So I'm out. See you guys later. I'm gonna walk through this portal.